Well, thank you for tuning in to Project and Adventures with Michael. This is my 5x10 Interstate cargo trailer that I bought in September of 2020, so I've been doing a COVID build here. Just kind of walk you through it real quick. I'll probably do additional videos. I'm pretty far along on it, but I still got a lot of work to do. It's going to be kind of like a camping, I'm not going to be living in it, size wise. That's why I was comfortable getting this size trailer. One of the main things that I chose when I was going to get this trailer was I needed to fit in my garage here. My HOA doesn't allow me to have campers outside for more than 2 days, and I wanted to build it, so I knew I wanted to do it in the garage. It's going to be for 2 people. It works well. If you had a family, you're probably going to want to get a bigger trailer. I can't stand up in this. I have to duck my head a little bit. It's really the ideal size for me. I debated for a long time whether I was going to build a teardrop from scratch, and then I started seeing these online where people were building, converting these cargo trailers. I actually saw a gentleman from YouTube that was a skier, and he converted with his father's help, a cargo trailer for living in during his ski adventures up in the mountains and whatnot. And it just gave me some really good ideas, and I started watching more YouTube videos on it, and it just kind of made me want to do that way. So I didn't want to, my first build, I didn't want to have to deal with the whole water coming in, seeping, trying to water seal, from scratch. So I decided to buy a trailer. That way it's licensed, and that way I could just start building the shell. So basically when I got it, this was a complete empty shell. I had some plans, rough ideas about how I was going to do it, but I just sort of, I wouldn't want to say I whimmed it, but I think it was just best that I build it and kind of over time see what I needed to do, what other people were doing online, and it really gave me a lot of good ideas, and I wasn't in a big rush to build this, so it kind of came out like the way I wanted it to versus rushing into it and just getting it done quick. I really enjoy spending the time on it. I still, like I said, I've got a lot more to do. Like I said, it's a 5x10 cargo trailer. It has a rounded nose, it's not a V nose. I plan on I need to do a removable roof rack because of the height of my garage. I have to deflate the tires to get the trailer in my garage, or out of the garage. It barely clears the height, so I plan on doing a removable roof rack, doing a custom roof rack, putting some side bracing, and welding one up, or having one welded up where I can put solar panels on the top. And then I also have an ARB, which is underneath the trailer right now. I have an ARB awning, 8 feet 2 inch by 8 foot 2 inch. Looks really nice. I'm really happy with that choice. So I'm going to mount that on the side as well, where that silver rounded top is. One thing I'd say too is getting this trailer, if I had to do it again, I'm very happy with the quality of this trailer. I like the looks. They have a bunch of different versions at Interstate. I bought it at Trailers Plus in Marysville, Washington. I'm based here in Maple Valley, Washington, so just south of Seattle, about 30 minutes where I live. But if I had to do it again, I'm not saying I wouldn't get this trailer. It's just the rounded top, definitely with the curves, made it a little bit more of a tricky to build, and as you'll see inside when I take you in there, I haven't really finished the inside curves. Everything's insulated. I insulated. Some people would say it's an unpopular choice, but rather than insulating from underneath the trailer, I insulated. I actually lost about 1.5 inches because I put 1-inch foam board, that pink foam from Home Depot, on the floor of the trailer, and then so I built it up, and I had wood strips for support, and then I put a new subfloor over the top of that, And then I put some life-proof flooring from Home Depot. And so I actually kind of lost another 1.5 inches. But the idea of this trailer is not to stand up, as you've seen when I was walking around. The kitchen galley's in the back. It's more for camping. It's going to be more for little trips like that, a couple days, maybe a week. If I go across the country a little bit more, maybe a couple weeks at the most. But I'm not going to be living in this full time. And so the needs of what I needed were different than what you might need. But the flooring really came out good. And then I insulated the sidewalls, same foam board, pink foam board. I just have not closed up these corners in the top where the curve is for a couple reasons. I'm still debating how I'm going to do it. And the second thing is that's where I'm running my wiring, and I'll show you a little bit more here in a minute. But that's, one area that I still have to insulate. But everything else is fully insulated. It's seam taped with the foil tape. I tried to make sure every little gap and crevice. I used the expanding foam in the corner or in the gaps. Try to get it pretty tight. So I added this propane. I saw this from online, one of the YouTubes, the Camp Easy with Michael. I follow him quite a bit, got some good ideas, so I appreciate that. Even though it's not a cargo trailer, it was, actually I got a lot of ideas from the guys building the teardrops. I also like this trailer a little bit more than some of the ones I've seen. It has a little bit more clearance. It has an elevated, just the way the Dexter axle was put in, it's actually elevated a little bit more than some of the clearance of the other trailers I had seen and that were even on the lot. I did buy this brand new, like I mentioned, so you might be able to save some money finding a used one, but at the time I was really happy to get the new one. I knew what had been done, nothing is wrong with it, there was no water damage. I also knew that really when I looked at the trailers online that I found for sale, they really were not that much less the used versus a brand new one. So I just chose to do the new one. I did have the Trailers Plus cut in the window on the door for the actual there. And if I had to do it again, they did a great job. I probably would just do it myself. It's not that hard. I'm actually in the process of adding a window on the other side. They did do a welded frame in the door, and I already had it insulated, so they put that insulation back, so that was nice. But, as far as the trailer goes, I really like the look with the diamond plating and just the size and the black wheels. It was kind of the style I was going for, so I really enjoy it, and I actually liked that. I got the color. I wasn't so sold on the color originally when I looked online, but after seeing it in person, and with the black accents, it really looks sharp. I'm going to add this box. This is not mounted yet. There's wood underneath to elevate the box, but that's not going to be that way. I'm going to get different spacers. And the reason I had to do the spacers here where the box is was I mounted my spare tire. It's a little dark in this garage, but I mounted the spare tire over here. And I'll show some pictures as well of that. But I used a spare tire mount. I went and got all stainless hardware. I wanted to make sure everything that I could on the outside was stainless or aluminum. It is a steel frame trailer, so there is that issue. And I know there's pros and cons with that, and some people like the steel, some people like aluminum. It's just what I purchased was the steel, but I made sure, all the hardware and all the things that I'm putting on, like the propane mount there, it's all stainless hardware, as best I can. And this box that I'm going to add in here is going to have the Chinese diesel heater, which a lot of people I was reading up on their heat. I was trying to avoid a wet heat source like a propane, like Mr. Buddy, which I know works well, but condensation is always an issue in these trailers. So I was trying to avoid that, as much as I can. So this is not mounted in here yet, but it's going to have a Chinese diesel heater. It actually came with a tank that was bigger than this. This is a 7-liter gasoline diesel tank. It came with a 10. I'm debating. It just doesn't fit very well, and I'm trying to put everything in that box. Like I said, I'm only going to be out for a couple days at a time typically. Just mainly probably campsites, but I also want to take this, boondocking too a little bit, or explore that avenue. Go up into the mountains, go hiking, whatnot. So just having a couple days, and I can always maybe put a jerry can with some extra fuel if I need. But these Chinese diesel heaters, actually, from what everybody on YouTube is showing, is it sips fuel, so it really doesn't go through a lot of fuel. And it's it'll be hooked up to a 12-volt system. So that's about it for the outside right now. I have that window I've cut in on the other side. I actually ordered the wrong trim ring size. My wall thicknesses were actually about 1 3/4 inches. That trim ring was for a 2-inch. So I have the window sitting over here. It's a nice premium window I got from Vintage Technologies. They were very friendly. You have to call to order, but they were very good about it, and really quick shipping. So I have nothing but positive to say about Vintage Technologies. I purchased the proper trim ring from them. It should come tomorrow. And then, like I said, on the top, I have some Renogy solar panels that I've got over here. I'm going to start off with 2 100-watt. I'll probably add an additional. They're about $100 a piece. They'll mount on the top at some point. I thought about putting them on the side of the trailer. I have concerns about damage potential and some other issues that I'll mention later, but really I'm wanting to put them on the top towards the front. I'm also worried in fighting the weight distribution, which I know is a whole can of worms for people, but I've read up quite a bit on that. I've been trying to figure out, because I need to distribute the weight a little differently in here, so I'm going to get creative. That's why I mounted the spare tire and whatnot on the front, but I need to add some additional weight, so I'm going to try to mount the solar panels on the top near the front. So we'll see on there. But as far as the inside electrical system, I guess I'll talk about here for a couple minutes. It's kind of up in the air. I've wired everything. I've wired outlets in the front. I'm going to do an exterior outlet near that propane cylinder on the back. But I'm going to do right now I have for a 50 amp plug-in. So like at campgrounds, which I know is overkill. It's just that when you're doing it, there's almost no difference in cost. And so I figured, why not do 50? Let's see if I can see it. It's pretty dark. But I have the, the plug-in over here on the side. It's for TV as well as 50 amp service, but I may switch it to 30. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have it so that you can gain access to the electrical through the cabinets in the back, and I actually left a little space in the wall I built that separates the galley from the cab. And I'm basically just from an ease of adding electrical later, I pretty much made it so that I can add electrical when I want or service it if needed. But this cargo trailer is going to have this conversion. I'm going to do the shore power, and I'm going to do a lithium iron phosphate battery. I'm debating between two 100 amp, probably Renogy, or I may do 170 amp Renogy hour battery, lithium battery. And then I'm going to have the solar, and I'll have 12 volt. I'm actually using that back of that electrical I showed you in the back is actually a distribution panel. I believe it's the WFCO. It doesn't have the charger built in, and then I would have an inverter, probably a 2000 watt Renogy inverter charger that is usable for lithium. But I got to kind of figure out how I'm going to wire everything up. That's kind of the next step here. I have everything like planned out. I just don't have it all 100% that's what I want to do and how I'm going to wire it up. But I have a little bit of experience with wiring, but my family, brother and father have a lot more experience with wiring, so they're going to help me. So the electrical system's kind of next. It'd be nice to get done. My goal is to have this trailer done by summer, in July, going camping with friends. But here I'll show you inside a little bit here. I know the video's not great, it's on my cell phone, so bear with me. Speaking of bears, I have this little sign, don't like the bear, so it's kind of cool. But basically on the inside here, like I said, we already went over the flooring. I put some trim up front, and I debated. You have to realize I've been building this for months, and I've just taken it slow, and I've just done kind of as it's come to me, and like I said, kind of a plan, but you know, just watching hundreds of videos on what people have done and different ideas that I've come up with. It's not a huge trailer, like I was saying. It's perfect for sleeping and a little bit more. That's kind of why I chose to do it over the teardrop, because I can use this as if it's raining outside or friends are out there and we want to play cards, or a table to eat inside, or if it's windy. I wanted to have it so that I could actually sit in it as well. So everything that I came up with design-wise is modular. Everything in this right now I can take out in 5 minutes or less. It's all modular, removable, it locks together. These tables that I have, they just are on track. That's actually an idea I got from I've seen a few people do it, but the first one I saw was that guy who made it for skiing. And then I have a track over here for a table that I took out right now for a couple different reasons, but I can always put it back in. These tables have those adjustable legs. They're really nice. They fold up and adjustable height-wise, so it's very practical. In the front, you know, I just put on these side walls after I did the plywood. After I insulated it, did the plywood. This is like, it's not Luan, but it's just that it's a very thin birch plywood. And it came out really nice, and it's just a perfect, you know, over the top. And I'm going to do a polyurethane coat over all the wood. So hopefully sand it down a little bit, polyurethane it. I'm kind of waiting until I get everything done. This is a hole for the vent that it came with on the outside of the trailer. It's pretty common on the front and back. It has one. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that. I'm worried in this trailer about the air circulation, which is why I'm adding this window that's going to open, and then I'll have the other window that's right across from it in the door. It should get pretty good airflow. I can't add any height on the top of my trailer because my garage. So I'm looking at other options, even side fans or computer fans that attach to these. I also I already talked about the heater I'm going to have that'll be cut in over here. There's going to be probably a hole over here for the heater that's going to come through, the Chinese diesel heater. I may end up putting a portable AC in it. At this point, I'm not going to do a split system. This is so small. It would just take up so much room and it would look funny. And I'm not going to do one of those window unit heater AC units at this point. So I'll probably end up doing a portable one to start, a dual hose. I've read up on a lot of that with air pressure issues, the single hose. So probably a dual hose vented through the floor. I may have it so I can just, you know, it's a portable unit. So if I'm not going on a trip when it's super hot, I'm here in Washington State, it's not always that hot. So depending on where I go, I may not take it with me, but if it's going to be hot, I can slide it in and put it over here towards the front. So we'll see. And I kind of left this area, there's this table. It's really nice how these tracks work, and you can just put the table up, slide it out of the way. I can even slide the table on the track and move it, and then put a chair kind of over here, a camping chair I've got. I've got this nice rocking camping chair I bought from online on Amazon, which is of course where I bought most of my stuff, and it has these springs on the back, so it kind of makes a comfortable seat. I kind of wanted somewhere comfortable where if I wanted to, you know, if I was hooked up and I was watching TV or hanging out, that I could actually sit and relax a little bit more. So that's kind of why I left this front area open. I toyed with the idea of doing a closet in the front here where these baskets are, but again, being the size that this trailer is, it's not huge. I really wanted to leave it open as much, so I kind of went with the open closet concept. And I think it's going to work well. I don't really like where a couple of these baskets are. It's probably going to change. Just kind of playing with it a little bit. And then this side, I just plan on, up front here, I really just plan on leaving open so I can either put that table up and I can slide it over and put the chair, or I can just put a chair. I've thought about putting a beanbag chair. Just something comfortable more. But that I can easily fold up and get out of the way. So that's why that camping chair folds up, that rocking one. So the bed really evolved, and I think came out really nice. And actually, that's what these tops are. These tops are just these for their at Home Depot, these Husky workbench tops that they have pre-made, and they're super nice finish. They're already like really hard finish. They're hardwood. Weight-wise, they're not, I guess, ideal, but they're not that much. I think they're about 6 pounds a piece when I looked. And I have a bunch of them. I'm going to have like 11 of them because each of the bench seats. So this table, like I said, is removable. I can slide it up there above when I fold up the leg above the TV, or when I'm driving, it'll fit perfectly in this area, and I'll strap it down. But this table really worked out well with the bracing. I just braced it underneath with some 2x2s. And then that track, like I was saying, but so it completely goes out of the way. But the bed part, so yes, you have to convert it during the day, during the night, but it literally takes like 2 minutes. I'll probably do a separate video on the bed system. You can do up to a full-size mattress, which is perfect for 2, or it can be a twin. I can actually just slide this table over into this position, and then these on the other side of the bench here, these actually fold out. So underneath they fold up. I put little piano hinges there, and that's actually the framework that I take out and I unfold. Like I said, I'll do a video, but this unfolds and I end up putting it, it's like framework in here, and it takes like 2 minutes to set up real quick, or even less than that. And then what happens is at night, when that table is out of the way, these fold over, and I'll put some pictures at the end of this video that show it, you know, down. But these fold over and it fills in this whole area, and it's all supported because there's the framework that sits underneath this. So it's resting on the framework, and then it has a framework over here, and it folds over, and then like just like these little ones fold over, and it has framework that sits there. So it works out really well. It's also nice for storage because these fold up, so it's easy to access. And I may end up putting my inverter and battery for the electrical system. Weight wise, I'm trying to get weight up front, so I'll probably end up putting a lot of the electrical either in this corner or underneath this storage area here. These fold up just like that side. It actually has a gas shock I put so it'll hold it there. I need to do a water storage tank, so I'm not really sure, you know, if I'm going to put it here or not. But and those back ones fold up too. It's just more storage underneath. I'll try to get some more additional lighting, but you know, there's storage underneath the entire bed system. And like I said, each of these are individual sections. So this back section, it can move out. This section can move out, and then that back is a separate. I thought about making this table as the middle for the bed, but I just decided to do it separately. I already had this done where these fold over, so it works pretty well. And then I just added these pillow cushions, make it more comfortable. I'll probably get some seat cushions here. Cabinetry, I just did, well, a couple things in the front here. I've got this cedar. It's really meant for like closets. It really has a nice aroma. I saw Joel used it on the Chuck box for his roof, I believe, for a ceiling of his cargo trailer. And I thought that was a really good idea, and I wanted to incorporate it somehow. So I just decided to do it when I framed out this little section in the front of the cargo trailer. And the reason I framed out this section is there's a few different reasons, but I wanted to be able to run the electrical, and you have to remember there's a table that goes there. So I wanted an outlet above it for like cell phone charging or computer, laptop, whatever you had. And then I wanted to have an outlet low in case I had that portable air conditioning unit sitting up here. And these are all 3 connected. They're going to be on a 20 amp circuit. I'll show you the circuit thing here in a minute, or the distribution panel. And then I wanted this in case I ever wanted to add a rooftop AC. If I didn't have to put it in the garage, I wanted to have the wiring already established in the area so I could modify it later. So that's really why that got added. I saw Jay Poor on the teardrops. I saw him add these little lights, and I got his link, so I ordered a few of those. They're little LED reading lights with a switch. I'm also going to have everything on a different switch anyway, but I think those are really neat. They're just the perfect size, perfect little reading lights, and do a great job. So that's really why I've built this frame out. I didn't want to run the wiring. I wanted to insulate it. I didn't want to run the wiring behind insulation and fight that. So I just kind of did this push out, which I think architecturally kind of has nice detail to it too. I thought about putting a little fireplace, like an electric fireplace unit here, but I just decided not to do that. I still have to add trim on the sides over here. I'm gonna trim everything out. So trim I'm just kind of doing last. But on the other side here, I'm now sitting down in that bed area. This side, I wish the lighting was a little better. I did a built out here too. I have all the 12-volt wiring running and Ethernet cable, which is actually for the batteries. I'm going to have a BMS built in, and there's actually like a Renogy little panel that will show you what the stats of your battery and charging and all that. That's done by Ethernet cable. So I ran that. Ran a bunch of 12-volt. It's going to have a switch. I have a night switch with the little toggles, kind of like in the back of the camper. I'll show you. And then there'll be a couple other wiring things here too. So mainly just a switch, so you can reach in the door right here, turn on the switches, and it'll control that light. It'll control overhead light I got, and then it'll control another light that's going to be mounted up here. I may put one over this table above that TV. Right now that's just a shop light that's sitting above that area. Cabinetry I made out of, let's see if I can get it lighter here. Made it out of that nice birch veneer plywood. Came out really well. I wish the lighting was a little better, but came out really nice. And I did the frame. It's a solid birch frame. I'm contemplating doing cabinet doors. I probably will on the two side ones. I'm just not sure about the top one. I may leave it open. It has a lip, and I may put like a bar across that you can remove, or a netting. Have like a DVD player up there. But this TV, I just put it on a TV mount, and it's got electrical back there and whatnot, so I can move this in, and when I'm driving I can secure it. I'll be able to secure it a little bit better with foam around and whatnot, so I got to figure that out too. This is the distribution panel, so it has all my breakers in there. It's going to have 12 volt, and I'll have different circuits. Like I said, the front three are going to be on their own circuit, and just the way everything worked out, they're kind of on their own circuits. So these three will be tied together. They already are. And then the TV's on one, and then the exterior outlet that'll be over here is going to be on another, its own circuit, just because I have the room, so why not? And then the wiring. This is not, by the way, this is temporary. This is going to be differently ran. I don't want it to rub when I'm moving down the trailer and it's shaking. I'm going to secure that wiring different. But really there's minimal wiring. It's kind of nice because I didn't have to run a ton of wiring. There is wiring for 12 volt over to that light, and then there will actually be wiring to 12 volt out to the Chinese diesel heater that's in that tongue box on the other side of that wall. But I'll show you more on another video. This table and the bed system, I think it's actually came out pretty good, and I'm very happy with it. And I can show you when that camping chair is in here, the way that kind of sits and works in there. So I just put it in, and let's see here, and I can just sit in that chair. It's relaxing, it rocks. I can still actually mount the table and have it slid over, so I can use it there. But that's kind of the inside. Still a lot of finishing work, like I said, in the corners and cabinet doors, but it's getting there. Kitchen galley. I chose to do a kitchen galley mainly because I just didn't want to have it inside since I couldn't stand up in my trailer. I thought it would be more beneficial. But I did a couple things here. So I did, obviously it doesn't have a shower or a toilet. I could add a composting toilet. I've thought about it in the front. I guess if I was going to go on a longer trip, or if I knew I was going to be gone for, I guess more boondocking. But most of the campsites that I'm going to go to are going to have facilities. So I don't know. I'll think about that. But I did an instant water heater. So I actually made this, it's a little garage area to the right here. I'm going to put some kind of cover on it, but fold this out, and then this will actually slide out because you're supposed to have good ventilation for these instant water heaters. But I've got it all hooked up, and what I did is I actually ran this little sink, so it's a little like bar sink. I got a normal faucet on it, hot and cold. And I actually ran underneath here. I actually have a pump, a 12-volt pump, and then I have a overflow, or a, what do they call it? Aerator. So basically, you don't get, it's smoother flow of water. You're not going to get that coming on and off from the pump. It'll cycle on and off less. And then I just, right now, for gray water, I'm just doing this little blue 5-gallon unit, and the sink will drain right into that. And then I'll just dump it. I'm not going to be doing a lot, so it should work pretty well for me. Like I said, I'm not living in this thing, but the sink's set up, so this is hot water is wired right to, I have a valve here, and I can go right to the hot side of the sink, and then I have the cold water. Obviously it's going to come from the tank. The tank goes into the instant, and then the hot goes there, but it also has the cold, so you can mix it. But the nice thing is for showers, so I did an outdoor shower. I'll put a privacy tent. I'll either build one in, or I'll buy one of those from Amazon that you can get already. And basically, this is the shower head unit. And I take this hose when I want, and I just hook it right into the side of the sink. So this just goes right in there. And now this little valve that redistributes the water, it stops it from coming out, and it actually goes right in up to the shower head. And then you can be out here if you had your privacy thing, take your shower. I had these little baskets on here. I found this little plastic thing, fits right in the basket. You put your shampoo, and then you can put the shower head if it's dripping water. Got a towel bar, so it should work pretty well. I'm excited to see that working. Oh, and by the way, this hooks up to propane, so I've got the regulator here. It'll hook outside and around, and it'll go to the tank that's on the side. I may do a second tank as well, one for this, one for cooking, but it comes out really well, so you can vent. Like, I like pulling that out so you can vent it for safety. It's not venting inside your rig or inside the trailer. And then I don't know, it should work really well. But obviously each night I'm gonna turn off the tank for the propane. I just don't like the idea of having the propane potentially leaking inside the trailer. And I will have a propane alarm and a explosive gas and fire alarm and all that, or detector. Other thing I had here was the cabinets up here, same as the other side. I built them. They're out of that birch veneer plywood. Thankfully I bought the plywood and wood a while ago, so it's cheaper. The wood's gone up in cost quite a bit. Added outlet down here. Like I said, it gets wired to that distribution panel. Did these little LED lights underneath, these strip lights that you see oftentimes. It'll be hardwired in. Right now I just have it set up testing it, but it'll get wired in and through to the panel, 12 volt. Here's these switches. These will kind of be like the same kind of switches that are on the inside over there I was talking about. It's just I think it's a 5 switcher on the inside. This one's for the water pump here, on-off switch, which I ran the wiring on the back side. And this will be for another light that I'm going to put over the cabinets that comes down, which I may not need now. Here's the remote for those little LED lights, so you can switch all the colors. There's Mike's color, Mike Foster's color, but green, but yeah, so it works out pretty well. This is the cabinet where I'll just have all my different little tubs and stuff will fit. I'll put all my different like utensils and everything, and I'm probably gonna do doors across here. I just really don't know, like I'm not sure it's gonna be needed if I have these tubs. It has a lip, you know, here, so I don't really know 100% how I'm gonna do that, so we'll see. But and then I built this little under storage that mounts underneath the cabinets. I figure I can put utensils here and whatnot. I got these little dividers I cut that I can pull out, so if I want to trap stuff I can do that. But pretty much a lot of utensils, spices, stuff like that while you're, you know, camping here can be in here, and I can leave them in here driving. It's a deep pocket, so it works pretty well. It was nice to be able to hide the lights underneath. I put a basket here. I just found these baskets at the local Fred Meyer, which is a Kroger store. It's actually where I work. So these are just little baskets too that I got, and this is a separate thing, and I just put it in here so I like to put like a wet sponge when I'm working at the sink, and then it's not dripping everywhere. The other thing is the cooler. So I kind of built the cabinets, I guess, with the idea of having the cooler there. It just happened that the one I had fits. This is actually on a pull out, so it's actually on a slide out that I have, and you can just remove the entire cooler if you want. But I actually wired it up, so back there, it's hard to see with the lighting, that's where the shore power is coming in over here. But back here is actually going to be a 12 volt outlet, so if I ever in the future want to put in a 12 volt like Dometic cooler, I could do that. So we'll see. I just like, kind of when I designed this whole trailer or built it, I kind of wanted to think of all the different ideas of what I might want in the future, and even if I don't add them now, have it ready to go so it's easy to add later. And that's why, like, leaving this open to the studs on the bottom half, I can actually tuck everything up and go right up to the distribution panel, so it was really nice for wiring or going over that way. So it makes it really easy to add. So I think if you're doing it, you know, really just take your time and plan it out a little bit and think about it as you're going, what's going to make it easier in the future, what you might want to add in the future. I'm not an expert in any of this. Growing up doing projects with my dad, I'm pretty handy. Can do a lot of different finish work, building. I'm not nervous doing most of this, but it's really, like I said, I'm not some engineer, expert planner, but really just take your time and kind of don't rush into it. And you know, just watch videos online and YouTube videos and see how people are doing things, and it gave me a lot of really good ideas. I need some graphics. I ordered some online. They actually mistakenly sent me some that said big words of icon, so I'm thinking about calling it the icon and just putting on the graphics that came in the mail. I think it'd be kind of cool, neat story. Like, I don't have a name for the trailer, so maybe it'll be the icon. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's kind of my COVID build. This is my ode to COVID, my COVID build, social distancing champion. So Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever. But yeah, that's my 5x10. I just have, when I get in, I have to duck my head a little bit. I think it's like 5 inches inside. But it works really well. I'm really excited. Obviously I haven't used it yet, so I'm sure there's going to be things I want to change and do. But it's really been a fun project. I added that porch light out here. That's another thing that's going to be on that switch on the inside, is this porch light. I'm real eager to get the rest of the electrical system hooked up and the solar panels with the roof rack mounted and my awning. I really think it'll look nice when I get that awning on there. Went to Wazoo, go Cougs. I'm a Seahawks fan, so put those little decals. I'm sure I'll have other little stickers that I'll get added eventually, but I'm just trying to keep it simple for now. So a few shout outs. I just wanted to call out from, I think if I have the name right, Mike Foster. He did his Teardrop Camp Easy. I got a lot of good videos and info from him. Just watching and following along. Joel, the Chuck Box, is enjoyable. Just really enjoyed watching him build and whatnot, and still add on. And you should watch it, Chuck Box, or search it on YouTube. A bunch of different videos. And then Jay Poor too. I know it's another teardrop one, not a cargo, but it's a lot of good ideas and whatnot. So I really appreciate all of them. Several others that I haven't named. I watched the couple. That's always, I can't even the brain part in their name right now, but I really enjoy watching them. Sort of a older couple. They're currently building a new. They have the big red cargo trailer. They have their brand new plans that are out for their next build that they're doing, but they live in their trailer. And actually, if I go here, I just want to get their name. I want to give them some credit for all the different things that I've been watching here. So I Ride Tiny House Adventures, great couple to watch. If you just YouTube I Ride Tiny House Adventures, they'll come right up. They've got a lot of different videos on here about different processes, and real enjoyable to watch. And then Joel Tremblay, he's the one that does the Chuck Box, and then the Camp and Camera. So Michael, Camp and Camera, he does a lot of videos. And then of course there's Jay Poor. He's doing the charity build right now. So I don't know, there's a bunch of other ones too. I don't want to leave anybody out, but those are the main ones that have been really following along. That have given me quite a bit of ideas. So anyways, I'll do some additional videos. I'll try to do more specific. I know this video got kind of long, but just kind of wanted to show you overall the build. I'll do some videos on specific areas, or if you have questions, just let me know. So thanks for watching Project and Adventures with Michael, and I will be back soon.